Welcome to the Brady Bunch of Autism, your source for family, parenting, and all things autism and special needs. Created by our family for your family. Live from the Ed Asner Family Center. And now your hosts, Navah and Matt Asner. Oh my gosh, happy Friday, everybody.
Oh boy. Welcome to our show.
Welcome to the wacky world of the Brady Bunch of Autism.
I'm Matt Asner, and this is
Navah Paskowitz Asner.
Yes, and we're here to educate, entertain, and all of the above about all kind of things, crazy things that are happening in our community, in the autism community, in the special needs community, and in the just people
I'm gonna have to
like the Brady Bunch of Autism.
I'm gonna have to spank you if you say that one more time.
What?
Even though I know you'd like it if I spanked you. Actually,
I might.
You're wearing my lipstick. What does that say in a G-rated show?
I must have kissed you. I don't know.
But our center is not just for autistic families.
That's right.
I know that Matt and I are the Brady Bunch of Autism, and we come from autism backgrounds. But our center welcomes all special needs families, and we want to I'm going to just keep hammering that into your head until you get it right.
Hammer away. So we have a special show today. We got a little angels on Navah's shoulder there.
Oh, yes.
We have Jill Hart and Spencer Harte joining us today.
Hello.
As kind of our co-hosts.
And they're definitely.
Feel free to kick in anytime you want.
We will.
They definitely are part of the Brady Bunch of Autism.
They are. They're the like cousin Oliver of the group.
Yeah.
Cousin Oliver of the group. So let's see. So we've got a busy show today.
We have an exciting show.
We're going to get into the nitty gritty with you guys a little bit about what's going on in the world of Spencer, which is pretty huge, actually. I'm impressed, Spencer, and
we knew you.
We're going to come back to that.
Yeah, we want to talk to Spencer about what's going on with Spencer. But first, I think we should bring out your friend and mine, our social director.
Yes.
The amazing Chelsea Darnell.
But before we...
Hello.
Hi, Chelsea.
Hello.
So, you missed last week, Chelsea. So we're now actually available on Spotify and on iTunes and on all the places, all the wonderful places where you can get your podcasts. We are now available. So
wonderful. And Chelsea has the most beautiful voice.
She does.
Voice. So when you hear it back on a podcast platform, it really is. It's a totally different kind of experience.
That's right. Well, Chelsea hosts Movie Chat every Saturday night. And
Movie Chat is going great. And I don't know if this has been announced on the show yet, but we have changed the trajectory of my other Movie Chat group, and that's Movie Chat 2.0. We are now calling it Movie Chat Scene Review Sundays. The new structure is exactly as it sounds. Basically, we're going to be taking a movie, which you all will not be required to watch because I'm going to be showing scenes from that movie, and we're going to be talking about them.
Indeed.
That's exciting.
That is really
it's like going to film school.
Yeah, it's like a mini film school.
Like a mini film school.
But it's not for a grade. Like nobody.
No, but I'm saying you're becoming the new oh, my mind just went blank. Well, who is the guy that I'm thinking of?
Judy Britt?
No, the guy who the new Coppola.
Charles Chaplin.
Chelsea Coppola.
Chelsea Coppola.
Yeah.
No, it's not Chelsea Coppola.
No, I'm joking.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
He doesn't get it.
I'm a little step back today. So let's talk about Saturday's movie, which is Yes Day.
That's correct.
I'm trying to see that. That's when we just saw the preview for the other day.
Yes Day.
That looks so much fun.
That is for my OG Movie Chat, the one that started it all. We've upped the capacity to 25 people.
Oh,
so
awesome.
The more the merrier.
That's great.
And to do that, to get involved in this, all you have to do is write Shelby at teafc.org, and you will ask to be let in, right? Ask to be let in by Shelby at TEFC.
And she will give you the Zoom link if you want to join.
She is the gatekeeper of the Zoom, and she will give you the password to get in. And that's on Saturday at 7:00.
That is correct. Yep.
And what is the schedule for the scene study?
Well, here I've got
great question. Sundays.
Sundays.
For our first ever scene review Sundays, we're going to be discussing the movie The Truman Show.
Oh, how awesome!
There it is. The Truman Show, a good movie starring Jim Carrey, with a couple of twists in it. So you're going to be showing scenes from that.
That is correct. I will be showing different scenes, which probably can be easily found on YouTube.
Okay. And you will be admitting people the same way, asking them to write to Shelby at taafc.org.
That's right. Same method for every single type of
same bat channel.
Yeah.
Same bat time, 7:00.
Same bat time and same bat channel.
All right. So we're gonna talk a little bit about Hollywood right now. So what's tickling your fancy these days?
I'm trying to think if there's the news has been a little flat lately. Although there's that new I think Demi Lovato just released that whole new documentary. It's supposed to be really graphic. It's supposed to be about her her life, which is sounds pretty terrible. Sorry if that's what. I think in 2018 she had a really bad overdose, and I think she addresses that in the film. That seems to be really trending right now. Yeah.
Well, and you've also got the Billie Eilish documentary on
Apple
TV.
Wow, that's pretty brave of Demi Lovato to talk about. And I read somewhere that she actually had like a heart attack during that.
I think she's 3. I think
she's still dealing with her health. Yeah. I love her. I think she's so inspirational to so many people. We started watching Stiesel.
Well,
I've never heard of that. What is that?
Oh my God. It's for the older. Your mom probably is watching it. It's for the older crew.
It's actually not something that you'd probably see a poster of and want to watch, really. I mean,
is it season 2?
It's season 3 started last night.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything about it, but you need to literally bring a box of Kleenex because the first one blew my socks off.
She started watching it, and I was like, what is this? What are you doing? Why are you watching this? And I couldn't believe it. And I'm sitting there.
Oh no! When I first started watching season 1,
and I was like,
it's a show about the ultra Orthodox Jews of Jerusalem in Israel, and it's all in Hebrew.
Yeah. And
it is one of the best written, well acted shows you will ever see of all time.
It's wonderful.
I'm sure Carolyn and Mike have seen it. I mean, it's incredible. It's incredible. But season 3 blew. It comes in so strong in the first episode.
And it was kind of like a sleeper hit.
Yeah,
it was.
It was.
Hit on Netflix.
It was number 1 on Netflix.
Well, it's one of those shows that they did 2 seasons, and then Netflix bought it and started showing it, and then it's like 3 years have passed.
Yes.
And they're like, oh, we got to do another season of this. And so 3 years have passed. That's a long time.
Yeah. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, it's very good. So we recommend it. Highly recommended. Has the Navah and Matt seal of approval.
And there's a couple good serial killer films in the works. I know you love that. It. No, Jill won't watch anything scary with me. But they're doing a new one with about Jeffrey Dahmer with the guy from American Horror Story, who's it looks amazing.
Oh, and
I'm so excited, and a whole documentary
about serial killer films.
About the Amityville.
I'm a little concerned.
Oh, I know how to do it. I know how to do it.
I'm a tiny bit concerned. It actually creates an issue when we argue now, because I think of that every time we argue.
She knows what to do.
I know how to get rid of them.
So, Chelsea, so it's movie chat with Chelsea on Saturday and Sunday at 7:00.
Yeah, very busy weekend.
And you want to announce, who a special guest is going to be in the next couple of weeks?
Do we know when he's coming?
We don't know what week it is yet, but we know he's going to join you.
Because this is what I'm thinking. Before I say who this guest is, if it's for Scene Review Sundays, I'm obviously going to show scenes from his films and probably talk about them and talk about, what it was like doing those movies. I don't know when he's coming, but he is probably he's probably his most biggest roles are probably Mulan and Jurassic Park. His name is BD Wong. Very big character actor, very accomplished. I don't know if I bet you he's won a Tony or two. He's definitely a Broadway actor as well.
Won a Tony for Madam.
Madam Butterfly. He won the Tony.
And Butterfly.
And he was incredible in our reading. He
was shockingly
He
surprised.
was a good friend of the center.
Yes, but I mean,
he was wonderful.
He was great. Input, even with the hats.
Microphones.
He was incredible.
Yeah,
very distinct characters.
He brought a bag of tricks.
Yes.
Yeah, he gave it his all, and I think Pete Davidson gave it his all too. But he was my close second favorite.
He was very good.
I know.
You know, and
So
like Chelsea said, he's a good friend of the centers.
BD Wong coming up soon on
to be
determined.
To be determined.
That's going to be exciting.
Chelsea, we say thank you, and we will talk soon.
Have a very exciting weekend. It's going to be a
Bye.
Bye, Chelsea.
So cool.
That's fun.
Yeah. Movie chat with Chelsea.
Yeah, I like the idea of the scene review.
Yeah.
I think the kids can really have some get to the meat and potatoes of the movie and more interaction too.
So I'm looking at the news. You know, I like to look at the news like every time we do the show, just to like see what's out there. And if I want to talk about something, we can talk about this a little bit later with you. It's just a fun little article about a young man who's making a movie in Utah, and he decided to cast autistic people.
Oh, that's
interesting.
Well, that's definitely it should be that segment, because that's our topic.
But one of the things that I saw, and I couldn't actually download the article because it was like I had to like subscribe to the San Antonio Dispatch, and I just don't want to do that.
Right.
So I looked at it, and I just kind of ascertained, you know, what they were talking about. Basically, one of the things it said that the autism services are completely non-existent in Texas.
Wow.
They're just not existent.
I think we're very lucky here in California.
Well, we have enough friends in Texas who have told us that.
But I'm going to say something. Even in California, I think
that lipstick is really distracting me.
Even in California, it's really rough because I think we have a system where no is the operative word.
You have to fight. There's
and you have to fight.
You don't have to
and there are a lot of people who are tired.
Yes.
And it's exhausting. Just actually parenting is exhausting.
Yes.
Parenting a special needs child is a very exhausting thing.
And there's a lot of families that don't have the wherewithal, the time, the energy, the know-how to navigate. And you really do have to navigate. You don't just step into this system. You got to know where to make a left and where to make a right.
And what if what if English is your second language?
Yes. Yes.
I mean, it's
and you know that
absurd.
we already know that there are certain underserved communities, you know, that don't get the services that other communities.
Well, I mean,
get.
That's right.
You're in the thick of it right now with the IHSS.
Well, not IHSS. I'm with the Will's Social Security.
Social Security.
That's the same thing, right?
Yes.
This is why I never applied for any of it, because it's just.
So I don't know. It just you know they just blanket denials. You know, is what I see.
Yeah, and that's pretty much how it goes. You have to have a pretty extreme case to be you know.
But even some of those cases are being denied.
Yeah, you have to fight. You have to get ready for battle.
And they're hoping that the majority of parents like us are so overwhelmed that we're not going to fight.
Yeah, and that's what it feels like.
They're hoping
really
for that. I think
it really feels like.
I think they bank on that, and you know, I'm sure you've been in many, and we have. You go to an IEP.
I was just going to say the school districts are the same.
It's the same thing, and it's just a nonstop maze, a labyrinth of BS that you have to go through. And I would, and as someone who's seen firsthand what other people go through, it's even worse in under-resourced communities.
Yeah,
and it's an awful thing to see. And
no, it is, because it makes such a big difference. It's the thing that you know can make a child really put a child really on a path to success or not. Yeah, it's that crucial. And the fact that some people are not giving that, some kids are not giving that opportunity, it's horrible.
Well, and when you really think about it, it's I've heard many people say this. Joe Montaigne said it, I think, somewhere where I was interviewing him. I can't remember where, but you know, our children are children for such a short period of time, but they're adults for their entire lives.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the extra help that is needed while they're adults, I mean, why not give resources while they're children,
Yes.
so that more adults with autism can thrive?
Yeah.
I mean,
it doesn't seem sound.
No.
You know, that it in the long run, it will cost the system, you know, much more money, you know, than it would if they would just do it properly when they were young, and these kids could, you know, lead independent lives or better lives.
Yes. Yes. I'm getting the hook from Navah.
No,
Navah's giving me the
I'm
hook.
not giving him the hook.
We're gonna actually bring our next guests on, because you know, they actually provide a service.
Because you guys were on the pulpit there.
We were on the pulpit there, and you know,
Wow.
hi there, Erin and Bruce.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Welcome to the Brady Bunch of Autism. And we have some special, like, we have a full house today, and we have some extra hosts today. And we have Spencer and Jill Harte in the audience, not in the audience, in the audience. And Erin, I'm so excited to hear about your product and your program. And I met you at our last in-person resource fair, which I really miss those. Don't you miss the energy in the room and how much fun that was?
Oh, absolutely. We were doing so many of them too. We had like 20 of them on the books last April, and they all died. It went away.
And we've known you for a long time from Surf for Healing too.
Oh
Yeah, we had a booth at the beach.
Yeah, we were the only ones you let.
Oh my gosh. I did not even put that. I totally.
In Malibu, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, at a few of them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, God willing, we're going to go back to our beach events and our resource fairs, and we are going to do camp this year. So I'm hoping this is kind of a upward. You know, we're on an upward trajectory. Thank you.
So okay, so I know you guys for a long time. So does Navah. Tell us a little bit about what If I Need Help is. It's an amazing thing. And we know a lot of people who have kids and adults that wander. So let us know a little bit about If I Need Help and how people can access it.
Well, just like you, we're parents. Our son, Jay, has moderate to severe autism, and he just turned 19 last month. So everything you were saying, navigating the SSI and conservatorship, we went through that this past year.
Yeah. And with us, you know, I think maybe our son might be lower functioning than some other people. So we haven't had I sort of think we haven't had as much difficulty fighting things, but that's probably because we're just fighting all the time. We're so used to it that we just, you know, the school district, we moved to get to a better district and things like that. And so I guess that would be pretty extreme of us.
Yeah. So when he was in elementary school, he was lost a couple times. And so we brainstormed on ways that we could let people, if they saw him, know that he's someone who has special needs, and then know how to help him. And we came up with wearable QR codes. They're the little barcodes. I could show you. So it can be scanned, and then they see the person's profile. And we have it on shoe tags, ID cards, seatbelt alerts, all kinds of different products now. And it's a free membership. We became a nonprofit. And so what they do is they become a free member at ifineedhelp.org, and then they can set up their profile. And then they can also use the emergency Q&A and the Hello Neighbor alert. And all the functions and all the products are just by talking with other parents. And they said, well, you know, I don't want it to be so obvious. I don't want it to be a shoe tag. I'd rather have a dog tag, you know. So then we created that, or don't you have a bracelet? So everything's been from talking to other parents. And now we even have special needs and autism street signs and bumper stickers,
a whole line
and the seatbelt alerts, like a Velcro around the seatbelt.
Caregiver.
Yeah, and a whole caregiver line too, because one of our friends was working out and she was with her adult daughter and she almost passed out, and she told her daughter, hold my hand and don't let go.
Oh,
And because
my
she
God,
thought she
that's
was about
scary.
to pass out and never see her daughter again. And
Oh.
thankfully she didn't, but then she came to us and said, you need something that I can wear, so they would know
Yeah.
to look for her. And so now we have lanyards that say caregivers and autism mom strong shirts and a bunch of that type of thing.
And when we come up with, we're also a vendor of 9 regional centers now, and we've
in California.
Yeah, we've done thousands of safety kits of wearable ID in our pre-registry. So if we were at the beach now with that booth, we'd have like 30 families lined up, because families, so many of them are so overwhelmed, like you guys were talking about, for whatever various reasons there are in their lives, that even if our stuff is very affordable, like a shoe tag is like $15, a lot of people are so overwhelmed by their responsibility as a caregiver, they can't even think about $15.
Yeah.
So the regional center funding it has been incredible.
Awesome.
Most of them are really jumping behind it, particularly Inland Regional Center was our first, and pretty much discovered us. And, so we've had really good experiences with the regional centers as vendors for them. And a lot of people, we've had people come up to us at like booths at like your thing, at your events, and where they'll be holding on to their kid, gripping their wrist. And I'll say, excuse me, do you have someone in the family that's a wandering risk? Which is just sort of a way to get the conversation going, because it's obvious that they do. And they always look at me like I'm psychic, and say, well, yes, I do. And then I'll tell them about the regional center, and they'll be looking at. Could you hand me the shoe for a second?
Oh, sure.
They'll be looking at things like our demos,
our custom shoe tags,
and various other products, and they'll just, even though it's so inexpensive, they'll think, I can't get that, I can't afford it. They'll have longing eyes, and their kid will be like smacking them in the face, and so then I'll say, oh, but the regional center is funding these, and we've had people explode in tears.
Wow.
And I was writing that story on one of my regional center applications, because the vendor application is like, it's hideous, and it's like 48 pages.
Yeah. I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I started bursting out crying at the end of that story.
Yes. Well, we had a really close friend of ours, and her daughter wouldn't wear anything. She wouldn't wear a bracelet. She wouldn't, if anything, I think even the shoe tag would be problematic. And I immediately thought of you, Erin, because you told me once about a sew-in or iron-on patch where you could put inside of a piece of article of clothing, and they wouldn't even know that they had it on. And she also got very emotional because her daughter had been eloping at night, and she only realized it because she saw it on the ring the next day.
Wow.
Oh, that's so scary.
But her daughter will, she really quickly had this idea, because she does stuff like that if she sewed it onto her daughter's clothing at night. And so I think it was a very emotional experience for so many people. But I had no idea that you guys did that many products. So I think I have to get together with you, and we have to have a subsequent powwow of how we can help each other, and how I can direct families I have so many families that have, that situation, like the grip household. And
I love that you have something for the parents and caregivers as well.
That's
really smart.
Well, isn't that all of our,
it's our worst nightmare.
Especially you and me, the idea of like, I have this like ongoing OCD kind of phobia of something happened to me while I'm driving. And that, Eddie is very verbal, and he's older now, but when he was young, I used to get blood pressure drops, and I'd get very dizzy and stuff like that. And I thought, what would happen?
Yeah.
That's a terrifying thought. So that is amazing. And I think everyone should run screaming to ifineedhelp. It's ifineedhelp.org.
Yes, that's correct. And then if they want to request a safety ID kit from the regional center, they can do that on there too. They just have to put their caseworker's email address in there.
Yeah, they're prompted.
Yeah.
Do you guys have examples of some of the? You held up the shoes. Do you have other examples of some of the products that you have?
Yeah. Well, this is one of the things that goes around the seatbelt, and it gives a lot of custom information along with the name and phone number. And then this is one of our bracelets. We have a few different designs, and then they put it around there, and then they can't take it off. And here's one of our ID cards.
That one could be chewed also.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is an aluminum one that's really sturdy that they can keep in the wallet. But we also have the laminated one, which is in safety kit 1 of the ones that the regional center funds. And it's double-sided. And then they can, put it on a zipper or a backpack or something. And the safety kits have a lot of things in it. It has the custom shoe tag, 2 bracelets, 2 patches, the bumper sticker, and it's all funded through the regional center.
Yeah,
and you guys have like a T-shirt with a barcode on it as well, right?
Yeah, well, we have the patches that could be sewn on, and then we also have a line of shirts that were designed by people with special needs. So we have people with autism.
I remember you showed me you were wearing a shirt that had the barcode on it.
Yeah, the patch can be sewn onto the shirt.
Right.
And we have that on all my son's shirts. So, if he was to wander off, he would have it on there. And
that's great.
It's just part of his shirt. Then you don't have to think about adding something else onto it.
You're not talking about it, and it's a safety. It's a done deal.
It's like a merit badge.
Yes.
Like Russell's badges.
Yeah.
It's like Russell and up. He has badges.
Congratulations.
Well, Erin, you'll have to send me some brochures and things that I can give out as well, because I definitely want to direct people who come in. We're going to start in-person classes next month, and I definitely want to have some of your promotional stuff to hand out.
And that'd be great.
We could send you worksheets that you can give to the families too, where they can fill out their stuff, and then you can get it back to us, and we can give them to their caseworkers. And
that would be awesome.
Yeah, and then we can enter it all for them.
And the regional centers let us. We're kind of like backwards from regular vendors, because regular vendors usually it has to start with the family, and then the family talks to the caseworker, and the caseworker then authorizes a service and reaches out to the vendor and stuff. Whereas ours, most of the time, the families start with us, and then the caseworker gets an email so that we can make and manufacture everything really fast once we get the approvals.
Very
That's
cool.
Wonderful. Well, you're helping so many families, and the regional center should be very grateful, because I'm sure it offsets a lot of their funding for all the extra respite and this and that and the other when you have an eloping issue, because that's nothing is scarier than that.
Yeah, and we know a lot of service coordinators now, and they're all terrified too. It's not just the parents that are scared about this, but the regional centers are scared too. Like if somebody goes out, how are they going to come back?
Right.
And they get the email when someone goes missing. The whole regional center system gets an email, and they're all, what do we do about this? So they're really trying their best.
That's great.
Well, I commend you guys. You're really supporting the community, and we're, at Asner Family Center is 100% behind you guys. And I'm really, really stoked to have you guys on, and we're gonna talk more about this, Erin.
Okay, great.
And
I look forward to it.
We'll see you soon at a resource fair.
Yes.
Sure, hope so.
No, me too. I miss that.
It will be soon. Okay.
Okay, guys.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Nice to meet you guys.
That's amazing.
When
I first met Erin, they had one product. Now they have all that amazing stuff.
Wandering is a big issue.
Oh my gosh.
Big issue. And it's something that people, I just don't even, I can't even begin
to
fathom.
I don't think that product could have been perfected, because you've seen a lot of products similar. I don't think that product could have been perfected like that unless it came organically from a special needs parent, because they know that a lot of this community won't wear certain things. So they created each aspect for, the whole multitude of kids, because what works for one kid won't work for another kid. What worked for, that's just the nature of our community. So awesome. And I'm excited about that. You can
Okay.
tell.
I can tell you're
Very
excited
excited.
about that. That's really cool. I like it when you get excited.
Oh man, Spencer's here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I apologize. Everyone.
I meant that in a very
That's how you have
G-rated
the-
way.
That's how you got the
I
lipstick
meant that
on
in
your-
a G-rated way. So anyway,
Let's
we're
talk-
sliding on a
let's go
downhill
back
slope here.
to- let's go back to our original.
So yeah, so Hollywood.
Yeah.
I mean, Spencer Harte.
Yep.
We are so impressed with you. I mean, can I talk about this?
Yeah.
Is it
Yes.
okay to talk?
Spencer's
about
over there. There she is.
Spencer.
Yeah.
Well, if I move this way, she's over there.
Yeah.
So, Spencer, we've been following you for a long time. I mean, you're our family, basically. We love you like a daughter, and so we know all the time what's going on with you and what's happening. So we heard a couple weeks ago that you were hired to play a leading role in a short film, and you were flown to New York to do this.
Yes, I did.
And we can't be more excited for you. We really
It's
can't.
incredible. It's
There's
incredible.
no one more deserving than you, first of all. And to hear that you're doing this is incredible. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the part and about how
The
it
experience.
happened?
Yeah, it's exciting.
Her name is Mary, and she has CP, bipolar, and there's some anger, fear, joy, enjoyment.
Mm-hmm.
That was your character. That's the character that you had to play.
So who's directing this film?
Her name is Shannon.
Uh-huh.
Shannon Lucio.
Shannon Lucio.
And I got when I auditioned, I got them. They liked it, and I got a call back, and
That's exciting.
and I had to do a call back again, and
Incredible.
and I have a session with the director, and when I got the call, I nearly freaked out because I got the part.
So tell me about
That's
that.
the greatest
Tell me
feeling in
about
the
that
whole
moment.
world, isn't it?
It is. And I remember when I was an actor, when you got that call to get you got the part. That's the greatest
And me
feeling in the
too.
whole. And you. You too. I'm including you in that. I'm not the only actor here. So when you got that call, was it the director that called you?
It was
Casting director?
the agent.
The agent. So your agent called you, and what did she say to you?
Like Spencer, you got the role of Mary.
Oh wow!
Oh, yay.
And how did that make you feel?
It made me feel happy and glad.
You screamed,
awesome.
didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, you're no slouch as an actress. You've acted in many things. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your history as an actress and what you've acted in?
I acted in Parenthood.
Yeah.
And I was on Netflix. I was in a Netflix show called Atypical. The whole second season, some of season 3.
Yep. And you were.
And now Boys Don't Wear Dresses.
Another short film.
Which
Yeah.
you were also the lead.
Yeah.
She was
The
one of the
female
leads.
lead.
One of the female leads.
lead.
Yeah.
And that's I think on its 16th film festival award now.
That's great.
It's done very well.
And I sense a theme here: leading roles.
Ooh.
Are you planning on taking Hollywood by storm?
You gonna take Hollywood by storm?
Yeah.
The latest ingenue.
That's right.
Yes.
This one was a biggie because it was really meaty. It's a young woman who is bipolar, who's had a psychotic breakdown and is in a mental hospital.
Wow.
So and it's just really they're two sisters, adopted sisters, and it's just back and forth between the two of them, and it's some pretty meaty, like for an actor, some really great stuff to get stuck into.
So let me ask a question, and this is a logistical question, so you both can answer this. When you're preparing for a role like this, what is that like? I'm sure that your mom helps you a lot, and
Yep,
and
it does.
you go through what the person's feeling, and so take us a little bit
And this
through
is
that.
such an emotional role. I mean, there's
Yeah.
so much going on.
Yeah, well, that's the thing with this role. Even within just one scene, it's like a roller coaster of emotions. Even
Right.
Yeah.
sometimes mid-line, the emotion would change. So for an actor, it was it was challenging, but also really, juicy stuff, right?
Yeah.
And you worked so hard, Spencer.
Yeah.
You worked so hard. She was getting up at 8:00 in the morning and working till off and on till 9:00 at night.
Wow.
And just running the lines and running the lines.
Nice
and running the
one.
lines. And what did they say to you when you're on set? How prepared you were, right?
Yeah.
So it made it a lot easier for everybody because she was so well prepared.
Well, and I'll tell you something, that's a great learning experience for you too, because it's a wonderful thing to be prepared, because it makes
it
everything
easier.
easier, right?
And
Yeah.
if they get those opportunities to show that they can do
Right.
these
right.
roles.
Well, also, this is what's interesting. Autism or for us, there's some speech and language issues, right? So Spencer has to work 100 times harder than maybe other people do to get the language stuck in there. And she was working so hard. And it's the other thing is that, a lot of times when you look at text on a page, it sticks easier than if you're trying to formulate the language yourself.
Right.
So that's one thing that I was glad that she was able to show these filmmakers, and writers, directors, that, a lot of our kids in this community have the ability to do this. They're just, if you give them the opportunity, if you perhaps come at it from a different direction,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of these kids, and I think one of the reasons why people with autism can be really great actors is because they're basically truth tellers.
Mm-hmm.
People with autism tell the truth, and that comes across in the acting. And
Well,
good actors
100%.
tell the truth.
And some of the greatest mimics and voiceover characters I've ever seen in my life.
I've always thought that autism, and acting are perfect
Yeah.
melding of things,
Right.
I guess you could say,
Right.
because you're right. It's like it's a wonderful playground that is safe. It's a
Yes.
safe playground, a safe emotional playground,
Right.
and it's a wonderful sandbox to be in.
Yeah, for sure. Don't you think that's true,
Yeah.
Spen?
That's so true.
Yeah,
You like acting, don't you?
Yeah.
Sandbox?
Yeah.
sandbox.
Like for a kitty cat?
No, that's a kitty box.
That's a litter box.
Box.
That's a litter box. I'm
Okay.
talking about a sandbox where
Where
children
kids
play.
play.
Oh.
Let's make a
Got it.
sandcastle.
Where they pretend play.
In
And
Hawaii.
they build the castles.
We are
You've
in
never been
Hawaii.
in a sandbox?
No,
Really?
I never went
You've never
to
heard
some
that phrase?
Huffy
Sandbox?
school. I didn't go to a
That's
Huffy
not-
school.
That's not a Huffy school. That's like
That's
Kid
any
101.
playground.
I didn't have Kid 101 either.
really?
No.
It's a sandbox.
Okay.
I met one of my best friends in my life in a sandbox.
Oh, wow.
And that's
There
true.
you go.
Adam Seligman.
I was going to say Adam. Yeah.
Mhm. Yep. And we forged an incredible relationship in that sandbox.
Well, I was going to say that I think Spencer's kind of leading by example, because she's showing Hollywood that if given the opportunity, they can rise to the performance. And I'm really excited. We're going to debut a new speaker series next month.
Oh, yeah.
Called
Why don't we
The
talk
Ed
about that a
Talks.
little bit?
And our first Ed Talk is going to be with our amazing friends, Emily and Valerie Gilpier, talking about their new book. I'm going to completely let you
Because
read
I was
that because
covered
I
with
can't read
dust
that.
for
It's
years.
I have been
Yes.
buried
Buried in
under
dust.
years of dust.
Yes, and it's an incredible book written by Emily and
It
Valerie.
actually is. It's
Actually,
amazing.
Emily Groden and Valerie Gilpier. I'll get that correct.
Yes.
Because I'm a hyphenated name. So, but this is our first Ed Talk. We're very excited about it. It starts on April 5th, and we're going to do this every month. But next month, we're going to have Spencer on with another autistic actor. And we're going to be talking to the people from the Disney casting department who really want to talk to people like Spencer and our other autistic actor to really get their perspectives, because they came to Matt and I and they said, look, we want you guys to help us continue this new wave of inclusion. And where a better way to start than Spencer and I's favorite place in the world, Disney,
Yeah.
and which is reopening.
Yeah, but
That's-
it'll
that's-
be opening now.
Yeah, but how do you get a ticket? I've been online. You
It's
can't get a
impossible. You
ticket.
can't
Well,
get
it's
it
just
there.
for food, though, isn't it? You're basically paying to go there and eat.
They said that they're actually
really?
opening in April.
Yeah, like, but I think the roller coaster is not open.
You're not allowed to
I don't like
scream
that
on a roller
roller coaster.
coaster.
Spencer loves that roller coaster.
Well, let's talk about before we get before
Don't start that.
we
roller
leave the Ed Talks. We can tell that story. You want to tell that story? No.
coaster. No, it has
Um,
F words in it.
Well, it was fun. I rode a
Let's-
roller coaster with Spencer, and I had so much fun because she screamed all sorts of wonderful things.
Yeah,
It was so
Oh
much
my
fun.
God.
it's fun.
Um,
Roller coaster.
So the Ed Talks, what are the Ed Talks? The Ed Talks are an hour program. It's an hour speaker series. And for the first half hour, the subject speaks and gives a presentation. And for the second half hour, we ask questions. And the interesting thing about this is these questions are your questions. You ask the questions. So we need your questions to be asked. So if you have a question about that you want to ask Valerie and Emily, please send them to us, and we will have them there, and we will cycle through them and say your name and all that, and that's that. So that's the Ed Talks.
And where do they send their questions to, Mr.
You can
Asner?
send the questions to Milo at teafc.org. Milo at teafc.org. And Spencer.
I call
thought that
him
was funny.
Milo. I call him Milo, the Swedish
So
pronunciation.
the first Ed Talk is April 5th. April
Yes.
5th at 5
and
o'clock
April is out of
on
hand.
Facebook Live.
Isn't April
and YouTube.
always out of hand?
Out of hand.
I would
Crazy.
think that we'd get a little break because we're not in person. Well, we're not back to normal yet, but our April is out of hand. Do you want
It's
me
all
to tell you?
happening. It's all just happening virtually.
It is.
It's all happening.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
in April, we're actually going to go back to in person. So that's exciting. So April is the
Our
beginning
in-person
of
thing.
our
Yes.
in-person comeback. And I'm excited about that. It's
baby steps. but
it's baby steps. Yeah, we're going to start. Our first in person is on April 18th with the amazing music therapist Judy Langdon, bringing back her in person Jamming with Judy, which is
Mhm.
going to be an amazing Sunday program starting April 18th. And for more information on that,
Yeah.
you can reach out to me, Navah at edasnerfamilycenter.org. Where's my TEAFC address book?
I keep sending it to you, but you never
Wow.
you never activate it. So, I'm
So
gonna have to activate it.
yeah,
for
you need to
because-
activate that for me. So we have in-person Music with Judy on Sundays from 10 to 11. It's a little bit earlier class, but you know, you get jamming with Judy, 10 a.m. And then we have the following weekend starts our very, very popular painting Sundays with Aviva. And that
Mhm.
is on the last Sunday of April.
Yes.
And then, drum roll, the following day on April 26th starts our Dating on the Spectrum program, which we have been working nonstop to debut next month. And one of the reasons why we really created this program, Krista and I, is that we were so inspired by watching Love on the Spectrum. And I just thought that was the most incredible show. It was just so inspiring. And so
And we
You-
talked to those people. And
Yeah.
They have something going on with us, right?
they do.
What do they have going
the
on? Why don't
producers
you-
of Love on the Spectrum reached out to us and they asked us, can you help us? We want to make a US version.
Mhm.
And we've been waiting for this. So there's the US version. We need your help. Community wide, we need everyone who would be interested. And if you don't have to be in a relationship, you can just be wanting to be in a relationship, or maybe you are in a relationship and you're with your
Want a little
significant.
help?
Yeah. So you
Because
can reach
relationships
out.
are hard.
What are you saying? I'm gonna
For some
I'm gonna
people,
apply. Maybe I should apply.
They're
for
hard
this
for
show.
some people, but not us.
Jeez, on the way out. B plan. Okay, I'm gonna apply too. So you and I apply. And if you want to apply for this amazing one-time opportunity, it's coming up. It's on the 31st of March. So you need to reach out to Milo at teafc.org. Can you put that up again?
Oh, I didn't put
It's really
Milo up.
small. So Milo at teafc.org.
Milo.
You're going to meet the director that day. You're going to meet the producer. It's going to be very exciting. And it's going to
be fun.
Yeah, it's going to fill up really quickly. So reach out to Milo and try to be on this amazing show because it's going to be, I hope, equally as good as the first one.
Yes, and Radio Disney says, I'm thinking of applying.
Oh,
you should.
please.
You should.
Oh my gosh, yes. 100% yes.
You should.
You would be perfect for
and
that.
Is this just for people in California or can anyone in the nation do this?
Apply. It's Zoom. If I get in trouble, then I'll take the blame.
Laura Lindsay Jones, she says, I have 3 teens with autism. So
you have to be at least 18. Yes.
18. So
that's the only, because it's an adult program.
Yeah.
There was adult themes.
Yeah.
They were going out.
Carolyn Clausen
to
is
dinner.
going to apply too.
Yes, 100%,
Very good.
Carolyn.
Right.
Milo at teafc.org. He's taking all the appointments. He's going to make sure that
That's
everyone
great.
is seen by the director and the producer that day.
Excellent.
But it's coming up. It's
Yes,
on March
next week.
31st. Yes.
Next week. All right. So, that's it.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
it.
I wish you guys
We're
were
at the end of
here.
the show.
I wish you
That
guys
was
were
quick,
here
huh?
every week. We had so much fun.
It was a lot of fun. Any
Seriously.
parting thoughts or comments?
No. I have a lot actually, but
Spencer, any sage words of advice for people out there who are getting into the biz?
What would you say? Just go for it, right?
Just go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it. Like
Because
Spencer.
because autism, we're actors too.
Yeah.
Yes.
And how about this? When you're reading for a role, prepare for the part.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yes.
Work on it.
Work.
Work.
Angelica.
And
Yeah.
don't give up, right?
I was just going to
Don't give
say
up.
that because even, everyone, even Matt Asner, he gets really nervous before we have a show. And it's like, you know what? You don't let your fear hold you back from something that's really going to be a wonderful experience because you know what? You had an amazing experience in New York.
Yeah, it did.
And it can be scary auditioning. I used to be very scared when I auditioned, but just don't give up and believe in yourself.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
you don't get the part, that's okay. You
Try again.
You
Try
for the next one.
again.
Because you
again.
never know what they're looking for.
Exactly.
They're looking for a Caucasian.
And if you do a good audition,
You were going to say
they
something
might
totally
remember you for something else, for another part.
Yes.
They
Exactly.
might say, oh, this part's not right.
Yes.
We'll remember them.
Yeah.
So Laura Lindsay Jones says her daughter was just accepted into Tisch High School pre-college, and she has autism. That is
Wow.
really cool.
Fantastic.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
That is
Laura.
a big muzzle right there.
That's
That's incredible.
wonderful.
We're on that path with our number, I guess Wolfie's technically number 2,
And she
applying for colleges next year. And we're very nervous.
says the stage is where she found her
Oh,
voice. Yes.
Definitely. That's wonderful.
100%,
Same
right?
thing here. Same
And-
thing.
okay, now wait, before we go, and this is crazy. We're going to go a little longer. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Because that's so true.
Yes.
Spencer found her voice on the stage.
Literally.
Literally.
Yeah.
100%.
And I just want you to tell that story because it's such a beautiful story. And we're talking about her acting. We're not really talking about her singing.
Right.
And she has an incredible singing voice. So tell about that story. It's a wonderful story.
Well, Spencer was very delayed in speech, very delayed. And it wasn't until, she started to acquire language very slowly, but it wasn't until she got into a theater program that, that we really started to see advances in the language. And then the singing came. We didn't know that she could sing. We were watching Phantom of the Opera, and we were in this room, and I thought, wow, the sound system in here is amazing. Sounds like they're in the room with us. And we looked over, and it was Spencer singing like in full operatic voice. So,
Well, now we're going to have to
Now we're
scrub
gonna-
this.
But I think there was something about the theater, that environment, you know, everybody getting a chance to get up on the stage and feel safe and comfortable, that, you know, it just allowed the floodgates to open. And I 100% what your caller just said,
Laura.
Laura, it was the same
The
thing for
stages
us.
were
Yep.
Same thing for us.
for
And I
boys.
think it's also true for a lot of other kids as well.
No, it
100%.
opens up something
Yes.
and it provides confidence
Yes.
and it's just
Yes.
But I think
important
that's
thing.
all expressive arts, because I would say
Yeah.
the same thing for
Expressive
Eddie
arts, absolutely.
with classical
with
music
fine art and
Yeah.
fine art.
and fine art.
Yeah.
Well, Eddie's.
And well, and I would say
Little bit
just
of it.
Will with the act of painting. For
Yes.
Will,
Oh my
Yes.
gosh!
it's a therapeutic
And when
thing.
and
that
when
It's
creates-
expression.
when Will was little,
Form of
he
expression.
wasn't into it at all. And then we encouraged him and pushed him to
Right.
try, and he absolutely became an incredible
He's an
artist.
artist.
And he loves
has
it
a
now.
wonderful eye. He really
Yeah.
has.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Very
So
proud of that kid.
And Eddie, of course.
Eddie, Eddie
Eddie's
is like
in the Museum of Modern
beyond.
Art.
Yeah.
My God. I
So,
want to wish
He's like
everyone
Van Gogh.
a wonderful Chag Sameach and have a happy Passover.
And Easter.
Is that? But that's not
Yes.
over the weekend.
Easter's next week.
Easter's next weekend. So next
Yeah.
Friday we'll say Easter.
There you
Tonight, this week we say Passover.
There you go.
Next week we say Easter.
Exactly.
All right.
I wasn't forgetting my,
Okay. All right.
my
Right.
folks who
Well-
celebrate Easter.
We thank you. And until next week, we say keep your seatbelts on.
Have a wonderful weekend.
Bye bye.